If you've ever had to work with tools before, the common term is faster, not harder. But in the construction line of work, it's both faster and harder. And what we have here is a whole bunch of nail guns. If you've ever grown up working with tools, you know that hammer is typically how you're started out when you're learning how to nail. We're going to step it up a pace and move on to the nail guns. We have a staple gun here in the front. We have a brad nailer here. We have a regular framing nailer here, a roofing gun. This is a felt stapler or a fabric stapler, and then we have a battery-powered brad nailer and a battery-powered framing nailer. There are other guns that are gas-assisted, meaning you'll put a gas cartridge into the handle. This gun is called a Tico nailer. It has a nail that will stick out proud of the gun, and that allows you to set the nail exactly where you want it to. And we use this when we're putting metal brackets onto decking or onto joists, so we can put the nail right where it needs to go in the center of the hole in the metal brackets. Whenever you're talking about nail guns, a lot of them will have the same terminology that refers to their parts. So we have a nose and a nose guard, and the guard allows you to place the gun up against something, slide it in before it's possible to shoot, and then pull the trigger. Speaking of the trigger, there are two types of trigger. There is the single shot contact style of trigger, and then there's the multiple shot sequential trigger, which we also call the bump trigger. It's called a bump trigger because if you have it set to sequential, then you can pull the trigger and bounce it, and every time you bump it, it will fire a nail off. That's really good when you're trying to shoot a whole bunch of nails into roofing shingle or plywood as fast as you can aim. This is called the magazine. The magazine is where the clip of nails will be located. On the back side of this particular gun, there is an air nozzle fitting where you'll hook up your air. There are also typically guards on the side, rubber guards, so when you lay your gun down, it doesn't scratch the gun. And on the back side here, we have a depth gauge adjustment. So you can set that depth for whatever you want depending on the size of your nail. Most guns will take a certain size nail. This will take anywhere from a 3.5 inch down to a 2-inch nail. So you can use that for regular framing carpentry all the way down to nailing sheeting on. Some guns, like a Tico nailer, only take one specific style of nail. The framing nailer has a vicious looking tip, and that's so it can dig into the wood when you're shooting a nail at an angle, so it has some purchase, some contact onto the wood so it doesn't slide around when you're firing that nail. On the back side of the gun is a air exhaust plate, and this allows the excess air to be blown off, hopefully not straight into your face. This model here allows you to rotate the air away from your face.